echocardiogram and stress test done this morning, so he said he'd let me know.
Through a lot too because she's moving too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be like January 2nd. And now they want to be in by December 27th. And she's also going to Louisiana for 6 days for Christmas. And, she's got kids coming home from college and, just a lot going on. And she never stops.
That's got to be a part of it for sure.
Yeah. And she doesn't sleep. She's horrible. She's up trading futures at 2 a.m. and she's nuts. So I think she needs some rest too. But
time to slow down.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But hopefully, I'm going to start off today with I'm going to go through some trades that I did this week, because I know there's some people. Most of you guys like Julian, Dinzy, Kelly. Okay. Our Tesla guy is on. Yes, you made it. Pretty good on your own, but some people struggle with option trading. So I thought I would just go through some of what I did. Most of everybody, know who I am. I've been with TGC since, February 2016. Hi, Jay.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. And I've been trading for 9 years. I started off with major losses. And then when I joined TGC, everything turned around, and I've just been compounding my gains. I've done very well. Options has been a real gift for me. And I love it. I love playing options. And now I've gotten into futures and really, really love futures too. Futures is a unique way of playing. It's a lot of fun. I have 3 kids. Live in North Carolina, close to Dan, not too far, a few hours away to where he's going back to.
Can visit his farm when he gets that going.
Exactly. I might ask him to live there.
I want a chart farm for sure. I think that's such an awesome idea.
Exactly. He's crazy. Oh my God. He's a no man's. He's all over the place.
It's cool though, because I get a lot of advertisements for other trading groups because of YouTube, knowing that I watch Chart Guys, and all of them are all about, do you want to live in a Lamborghini, have a nice apartment, and travel the world and stuff? And Dan's existence is so much more humble than probably the status quo. Most of these kind of
he could live in a tent if he could.
Yeah, I know, it's great though, right?
It is.
Why live outside your means, right? If you have a certain, don't change it just because you have money, right?
I know. Oh, and so giving. He gives so many.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference with him is he gives to so many people and stuff.
He's asking if we're streaming live. Let me just check that. It says an error has occurred. Dinzy.
Can you see everything?
The Slack call works, but I think we're trying to stream it on the live page on YouTube.
Oh, are we streaming live correctly? Okay, look, okay. Let's see, that's Dinzy. Let me see. She did it in general chat.
I'm getting an error right now.
Yeah, I don't even see it. I don't see the video. Do you guys?
I'm going to the live link on the Chart Guys site. I don't see it.
Okay, Julian just posted. Let's see.
Yeah, it says there's an error.
Huh. I know Jason couldn't, so her husband was going to do it. Yeah, there's an error. Yeah, where is he? I know they have trouble with this sometimes. I have no idea. I know nothing about computers. I don't even know why there's an issue.
Hope we can figure it out, because it's nice to kind of rewatch. I rewatched one of the ones the other day. So.
Right.
I don't know why Slack doesn't have like a recording feature. That would be cool.
Yeah, that
would.
would.
Need to have that.
Yeah, that would make a difference.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still not coming up.
Yeah, I'd help out, but I don't actually have the software to do that.
I know I'm probably giving you guys a headache moving my chart, but
oh, there you go. She's figuring it out.
Give me a minute. She's trying something.
Yeah, cool.
We still have.
Oh, it's her husband.
Oh, okay.
Jules, Jules? This is Josh. Jules, can you hear me?
I think it's Dingy's husband that I think.
Yes.
Okay, let me get back over to where I need to be. Okay. Okay, well, good morning, you guys. I'm going to start off with a little bit on selling puts. Selling puts versus buying calls. I know Fiona in the room uses this. Back over to where I need to be. Okay. Okay. Why do we?
Just close the live stream. It's a couple seconds behind.
Damn it! I didn't even know I have it on. Back over to where I need to be. There we go. Okay.
If someone's not talking and listening to the live stream, just mute your audio because it's echoing.
Yeah, I don't think I have it up.
No, I think someone else does in the call though.
I know Fiona in the room uses this.
I hear a bunch of people watching the live stream.
Okay, why do we? Okay, you guys need to mute the live stream because it's in the background.
Mute yourselves on the call.
I'm sorry?
Can they mute themselves on the call?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have it up.
No, I think someone else does in the call though.
I gotta pull up to see who. See, I can't find out because I'm not like Lori. I don't know who is not muted.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I used to get that. I'm not getting that right now.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, here we go. You have to press the dot. Let's see. Jilly's microphone is on. No, who is it? Smiley?
Oh, God, that's really annoying.
Smiley, your microphone's on.
You think it's fine? Okay, I had it on mute. Let me try again, though. I don't know if it's. I can try dropping off, guys, and see if it helps. I'm on mute. I was on mute.
I'm gonna mute myself too. I mean, I have a headphone on, so.
Yeah, same here. I'll drop off and see if it helps.
Lori, maybe check if it was. Sorry, Jules. Check maybe if it's in like another tab or something. It's weird. Everyone on the call is muted.
Okay. To see if maybe I have an open tab.
Yeah, did you open it in YouTube also, Lori? Maybe it's playing in the background in YouTube? I don't know.
I'm Julie.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Jules. Sorry.
It open.
In the habit.
Okay, let me see if I pause. No, it's paused. What?
Could it be that Dinsy's end is on? No, but she's muted too. That's weird.
Oh, this is insane. I'm trying to pull up to see if there's any. These are all my things pulled up.
Yeah, this is very weird. Everyone's muted here.
These are the only things I have pulled up in my. Okay, then this is BYOC.
Oh, Dan mentioned something about Josh needing to close out on his end. Needing an audio loop.
Oh, okay. So we need. All right, I'll send Dinsey a message.
Mentioned something about Josh needing to close out on his end.
start to call over. Okay. I'm going to do that, you guys.
Okay. Stopped, I think.
Did Jules get off?
No, Jules is still on, it looks like.
Oh, now it shows Jules is off. Must have been one hell of a party last night. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, Jules, I can see your screen. The YouTube.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
Jules, by the way, how did you get into trading? Hello?
Jay?
Hey, Jules.
Yes?
I was just wondering, how did you get into trading?
I had a severe injury and crushed my foot, and I was an RN, and I just decided it was something I was going to do, so I took a Thinkorswim. I paid like $3,000 for a class, and I have a whole booklet on it, and then I just started slowly learning on my own.
Oh, wow.
Like 9 years ago.
And how did you find the chart guys?
Oh, God, they've changed my life. I had lost tons of money, like $200,000 before I joined them.
Did you find them in YouTube? Because like they were like in YouTube, or like how did like?
Yes, I found them on YouTube.
Cool. So that was before the crypto stuff, right?
Right. Yes.
Nice. Cool.
Okay, is everybody on the call?
Yeah, we got 15 in here, but the YouTube was just acting up, so I think they're trying to fix it.
Oh, jeez. Because now the noise is gone.
The noise is gone. The YouTube stream is now off.
Oh, my Lord.
Ah,
You
man.
guys want to just start without it?
Well, I'm trying to get OBS.
Yeah, I'm running a ScreenFlow on this. I could always export it to like the FDN or whatever. Whoever wants this, just so we could get started.
Yeah, why don't we just as long as everyone who's contributed is like on here, then everyone else can just watch the replay, I guess.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. Now let me get to where my screen is. Here we are. Okay. All right. I just did a little thing on selling puts versus buying calls. Most professional moneymakers fail to outperform the market. Lowering the relative performance of selling puts in a buy and hold strategy has proven to be a successful strategy against the S&P 500. Because stock prices can only drop to zero, your risk on either trade is virtually the same. It can be said that selling puts has less risk because you receive a credit that offsets your losses. Selling puts is a bullish strategy. Selling calls is a bearish strategy. When selling puts, if the stock moves higher, you make money. If the stock moves down, you lose. However, if the stock moves sideways, you still make money. Selling puts and calls are a great strategy to use on Fridays with time decay killing option premium. You know what your cost is and what you can collect. It is best to find a stock with higher implied volatility. The premium will be higher. Selling puts is a good way to generate income similar to covered calls. When you sell the put, the seller receives the premium, so the money can work in your account. If the stock price remains equal or above the stock price, the premium amount required to buy back the option diminishes over time until it is worthless at expiration. At expiration, sellers keep the entire premium if the stock closes above this price. If the option expires 5 cents below the sold stock, the option is exercised automatically, and the sellers are required to buy the stock. So make sure you are watching so you don't get exercised if you don't want to be. And then just a few clues from this week. I think a lot of people got caught in the chop of up and down, up and down. Amazon on Friday was absolutely crazy. It's very important when I'm trading. I do watch the 5 and 15 minutes because I'm a scalper, but I'm always mindset on the hourly chart. If we don't break the day before is high, then it's a really good chance that you're going to be in a short position that day. So make sure you keep an eye on the hourly chart. And if you're struggling with the market, take a break, walk away. Don't force trades. Look for equilibrium setups like Amazon, and I'll show you one later. I've also been trading futures lately and find that watching the NASDAQ, which is NQ, helps me trading stocks like Amazon and Google to get an idea of which direction. It's a really good clue. On days when the market is up and down and no clear direction, SPY is a great stock to play. You can usually find the EQ pattern within the 15-minute chart. SPY has been, this whole week, a really great, Lori and I have played it in both directions and really made good money. So on days that you're struggling, look at SPY. SPY is a really good stock to play for direction. I have a few charts that I'm just going to go over real quick on trades that I made. NVIDIA. Okay, where is the... Okay. I posted this chart in the morning, and I was watching the video for this break right here. You can see the downtrend. I believe this was also on a, let me see if it was on a 4-hour. Yes, it was also on a 4-hour, but I think it was the hourly chart that I was watching. And as soon as it broke above, I got in the trade, and I got into the 147 calls. But as soon as we broke the top line around 148.26, I got in for $2, and then I exited for $2.89 when I saw the bear volume starting to come back in, and that was where this candlestick is right here. And also right here, when you see the RSI.
I can hear it. It's like making all these loud noises from the computer.
Awesome trade, going down on Friday.
Live dashboard YouTube. Okay.
Apple.
Yeah.
Apple, every time Apple hit,
Okay.
what was it, 16?
It's still like.
Okay, so check if there's another YouTube open. I think Josh opened an incognito
Every
window
time
or
Apple
something.
hit up here, like
Okay, there's a YouTube troubleshoot video streaming issues open.
Okay, close that.
167.70, 167.68.
Okay, it's still making really loud noises.
Check if there's another YouTube stream.
If you were, here is another one
Okay.
where you could ride it all the way down to here. The RSI bear signal.
Where are you?
Like, this is a hidden
Oh yeah, there's another
No,
YouTube.
yeah.
right here.
There's another
RSI
YouTube here.
signals are awesome
Yeah,
to
close
play.
that.
Here's another rejection. Here.
This one is a
You can
whole
load it
window.
all the way down. So
Ah.
Yeah,
Apple
close
had
the
a
whole
lot of
window.
good signals.
Okay, and there's another one. Okay, and there's another Bitcoin one.
SPY, I posted
And that one
this
doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Now it's
and I
just
posted
freaking
this
stop.
rising wedge.
The
15-minute chart.
the screeching
And look where it
screeching
broke.
stopped. Yeah.
This
Okay,
it was
you're
a
only
clear
hearing
signal
one
for
voice
SPY,
now?
and when it broke, I was into
Yeah.
puts.
Okay,
I
so
bought
then leave
out of the
room
money
because they can
big
hear
time.
everything you're saying.
Thank you.
On Fridays, because I like to buy. Lori and I will buy way out of the money. It's like they cost 20 cents or something. So if we lose on them, it's not that big of a deal. I bought 261 puts that were only 30 cents, and I wrote them down. I think I got out somewhere around here, and they were $1.20, and I had bought like, I want to say 70 puts. So it was a really successful trade. Rising wedges, falling wedges, for me are awesome trades. They really, most of the time, they break in the direction they're saying. Google on Friday also for me was it was kind of going in a weird direction. It was basically in this kind of triangular pattern, and it gave lots of opportunities. I entered a trade at the beginning because I liked the way it was opening. I entered a bullish trade at $13.50, and then up here I exited at $17.50. Didn't do a bearish trade, watched for direction. When we hit the bottom trend line and had a green candle and getting the 4 and 8 EMA cross is when I entered bullish again. And then I did that one from $15.25 to $20. Then we got a bear across and I wasn't able to break Thursday's high. I entered a bearish trade. And I followed that to the bottom of $15.54. This area right here I felt was a double bottom. It was like $15.54.46 and $15.54.71. So for me, that was close enough to get out of the trade. And then I had to leave, so I just didn't follow through on any more trades with that. I love Google. Google's one of my favorite stocks to play. Tesla had this rising wedge on a 15-minute, and I also believe I have a chart. I think there's a 4-hour one. Well, actually, this is more of a wedge. I wouldn't call this a rising wedge. I entered calls on Tesla pretty close to open. Let's see, where are we? 9 o'clock. Here was pre-market here. But I did enter calls because I liked the way it was trading pre-market and was hoping that it was going to test back up here. And Tesla was going against the grain, against what SPY was. When it broke up above this trend line, so I stayed in the trade until that next candle. When it couldn't hold up here, even though it broke the day's high, but the trend line, but it didn't hold above the trend line, couldn't close, I got out of the calls. And it was next week's 280s that I got in at 850 and got out at 975. Oil was a really great play. What I was trying to show people with oil, I didn't get in too much of this trade. I did some of it, but oil had clear little bear flags on the way down that were great signals to get in. So those are good things to watch. Like even here, another one, get into a trade. So if you're watching a stock that's on a downtrend and you're trying to figure out when to get in, even here's a small bear flag and then it went all the way down. Watch for clues for bear flags because those are good entry points because you never want to try to get in and chase a stock when it's running down. Let's see, Amazon. On Thursday, I posted Amazon's falling wedge. Oh, I think I'm way back on that one. Yeah, I'm not going to go all the way back on that. I'll just say Amazon at open. Let's see, what did I do? Is this the 1 hour? Yeah, Amazon at open couldn't break the high of the day. So that's when I got in a bearish, and it also had a TCG bearish trade. So I got in. And then I think this one, I think I'm on the 15-minute chart. I'm going to have to go back and figure this one out for you guys after because I know I did the hourly and 15-minute chart, and I'm not as good as Lori at figuring out how to flip them back and forth. So, okay, so we can go back to whoever is hosting first. Julian, do you want to go first?
Yeah, for sure. Should I share my screen here? Or?
Actually, I think I have to pull them up. I don't think you can share your screen if we're recording. So where are your charts? Did you post them in here?
Yeah.
Okay. Here.
Awesome. Yeah, so start one with a little crypto action. Everyone can hear me?
Yep.
Cool. So EOS I really like because there's a little double bottom here at 170. I want to just call it 178. It's off by like 1 cent, which is actually quite a bit for $1. It's about 0.5%. But I'll call it a double bottom. I think if you have a small position, the risk to reward here is great because basically once we get over the daily resistances at 217, there's basically no resistance until $3 on the daily. So you have tremendous upside. I think even if we clear, the first 2 daily resistances, it's already better risk to reward than your downside, which is the obvious stop loss at 178. The reason that I actually think it's a good long trade too is because we just got a 4-hour TCG bull cross. Or not TCG, the 1226 bull cross on EOS. We had a little one back on the 13th of December, but it only lasted for 1 candle. This one's lasted for a couple candles now, so I think it's the real deal. We haven't really had one of those crosses since the price was up at $5.50. So I think the momentum is shifting a little bit on it. Obviously, it's crypto, which means everything is correlated to Bitcoin. So, just make sure that's doing all right. But the stop loss there is pretty clear. I entered a small position about 196, I believe. And if you're willing to take the 9% loss, just scale your position to that size. But I'm anticipating at least getting up into the 2.6s if we break 209 and 217. Oh yeah. Next one is, and I think I'm not the only person.
Somebody just said my screen sharing is still on Amazon. Is that true?
Yeah, on the YouTube somehow it's still stuck on that. I don't know if there's
the YouTube link's not working, I don't think. So we're just recording it right now.
Okay, it was working, and then when it went to your chart, the EOS one.
Oh, really?
Switch on the screen, but the audio is still working.
Okay.
Weird.
Does it?
You guys can. Well, yeah. If you're on the call, you can follow along with the host here, maybe. Yeah, I think I'm not the only one to point this one out, but obviously there's a big gap to fill between 37.47 and 42.14. I think what I noted on this one is a lot of the EMAs are holding on Twitter. The 4-hour EMA looks like it's going to be providing support. Obviously, I think the daily bulls were just a little too extended to really start filling that gap. So it looks like a bit of a potential bull flag on the 4-hour or the daily even. But again, it's all going to be related to SPY and QQQ. And if those can't see any upside next week, then I don't think that gap's going to fill so quickly. But if they do, that's number one on watch. So if I start seeing, good pre-market and then the first half an hour opens really strong on Monday, I really want to be in Twitter calls this week.
And then let's see your next one.
And this one's probably more for Canadians because I don't know how easy it is for Americans to buy these stocks and hold them long term. But BMO, which is one of the biggest banks in Canada, is extremely oversold on the weekly on not much fundamentals. And if you actually look at other Canadian banks, I was trying to figure this out. I was like, why is this so oversold? It's the most oversold it's been since the 2008 financial crash, which makes zero sense to me. Canada's economy is not tanking in any way. They have lowered outlook for growth. I think it's just a lot of people are overreacting. This is a really strong dividend stock. I think the entry that you're getting now, you don't see these weekly RSIs get this low. I think the entry you get now, holding for a year out, you got a really nice dividend stock here with probably pretty good room for upside. There's a very clear bottom fishing support. If you buy it now, you could just stop out there on that next weekly support if you're still skittish about it. But my idea is even if that breaks next week, I still wouldn't be scared of getting in the stock longer term. So yeah, I like that one for sure.
So,
yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you want to do yours?
Sure.
Win.
Pretty clear monthly bear flag there. The thing with Win, though, which I didn't realize when I posted this chart, I was just doing some research this morning, and apparently their president is stepping down and is going to be replaced with Marilyn Spiegel, who used to be the president. So the market could take that as bullish news, which might wipe this out. But leadership changes are always finicky. So we'll see how it reacts to that. Let me pull up. But basically, what I would be watching for is there's actually on the daily a multiple bottom at 104.18 and a weekly double bottom at 104.18. So that's definitely the clear
daily chart.
What's that?
Really
cool.
I said I don't have computer skills like Lori, so the same things you get with her. And like I say, of course, she has to be sick. So she couldn't help me out at all. All right, here we are daily.
Yeah, so there's that support there at 104.18. Or it's saying 104.06 on yours.
Have extended hours on?
I might. Hold on one second. Let me.
No.
Yeah, you do, Jules. She was looking at the monthly earlier, though, right?
Yeah, the monthly is
like at 104.6, and then resistance up here.
Oh yeah, so it's saying when I put the horizontal trend line, it gave me 104.18. But either way, in that range,
right?
There's clear support. But yeah, so just watching for that. I mean, that's obviously longer term, but I think it's worth watching because it looks like a pretty clear monthly bear flag to me.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go back to your other chart. You know, there's got to be a way that I'm supposed to be pulling these up so that they don't lose it on the YouTube, but Lord knows I don't know how. Oh, Netflix
daily EQ. It couldn't close above that the EMA 12, but it also on the weekly it looks like a bear flag, which I posted that earlier in the thread.
Okay.
So watching that level 260.61 for the bottom support there, and the 281.77 for resistance.
Okay. I like Netflix. It had a crazy week. It's got some bear volume too.
I just had a question. It seems like a lot of the time I see people post like bull flags and bear flags. And from my understanding, it's not like an equilibrium. What it is it's like a bear flag would be making new daily higher highs, but like barely, and then rejecting strongly. And a lot of the time I see like these big drops and then an equilibrium. Is that technically a bear flag or a bear pennant?
I don't know the answer to that. Now you're asking if it rejects and drops on a bear flag, is that a bear pennant?
Well, what I think of like a flag is I think of it like if it's a bear flag, it's an upside down flag, so it's slowly ascending. But what this looks like, it looks like more of like a pennant at the bottom of
a bearish pennant for sure.
Right, I agree. This particular, I agree, looks more like a bearish pennant.
But they result in the same outcome.
They do, yeah. But I'm just thinking, is it technically correct? I'm just wondering.
Well, Jules, can you go to the further up in that thread? There's the weekly version of it, and then the weekly looks like a bear flag.
Okay.
I think it's all the way at the top. You guys will see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. The terminology is probably not right. I do that a lot as well, but it's still
it's the same psychology for sure. Yeah. So the weekly looks more like a bear flag because you kind of have like a higher high and a complete rejection.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, I can see that more. Awesome. Yeah, the other one did look more like a pennant. Now that you pointed that out.
Sweet.
Oh. Yeah, this looks like.
And then there's that inverted hammer following it. So.
Right. Yep.
Good levels to watch there.
Yeah. The only thing that's a little concerning is this bull volume here, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Okay.
What was your next one? Netflix. Let's see.
We did Netflix. Oh, Crocs has that Head and Shoulders that's just gorgeous. Yes, super simple Head and Shoulders. I think it's 2465 is the most recent neckline support.
Okay.
So I'm definitely going to be watching for a break of that. And also, again, with these EMAs, most of these bear flags and Head and Shoulders patterns, they're all having trouble closing above the daily EMAs.
Yes, definitely. I like that one. I'm going to write that one down.
I think there was one more, which was the China ETF. That one I'm watching closely because
GXC?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so it's about to get a monthly bear cross on the 1226 EMAs, and they had terrible economic data come out last week. So as long as this trade war keeps going, I think that it increases the probability of that thing breaking bear. So, these like this and Win, they're both on the monthly, so it's more of like a longer term watch and see what happens. But I think it's definitely worth paying attention to for sure.
Okay, I'm going to bring up the daily on that one. See what it looks like. It's funky looking.
Yeah. But it's like kind of a wedge, an ascending wedge a little bit, and it's kind of starting to break down out of it.
It looks really illiquid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to. I'm not sure if I'll get a wedge out of here. Not enough touches. Yeah, this bull volume right here is a little bit weird, but all the other things is starting to look negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely keep it on watch because of the way the monthly looks. Let's check out the weekly.
Just especially with everything that's going on with, there's the wedge I was talking about right there.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with everything going on with China, it's probably a good time to pay attention to this ETF.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so was that your 3 charts, Kelly?
That's it.
Okay, girly. I think Mooncouch, you still on?
Yep.
Oh, actually, Tesla, do you want to do yours? Because I know you're on a crazy time frame.
Sure.
Okay.
So I only did Apple.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm kind of doing a contrarian play here. So I know like right now the market still looks so well, but if you take a look at Apple on the Wii chart, down here, you'll notice that the stochastic's like really low.
Yeah.
And if you look back in Apple Weekly 3, it tends to have a nice bounce that follows, when you get these.
Okay.
And I thought this was really interesting here. It's the histogram reading. This is the largest I could find going all the way back in Apple Weekly history. I think that's like really unusual. And I think it's because this decline happened in about a little over 2 months. So it's pretty sharp from 33 to 130.
Yeah.
And we also have the weekly RSIs pretty low here. So what I'm expecting is next week is like maybe we get an inside bar or we go up a little before resuming a downtrend. But I think Apple's probably due for a bounce. And then in the other screenshot.
Okay, hold on a second.
I've kind of been experimenting with these different candlesticks. They're called Renko bars. And what's interesting about Renko bars, it's that unlike candlesticks that track time, so like each candlestick, it's a 5-minute or a 15-minute. These are a little bit different. So these kind of track how long each of these is how long it took for Apple to get like two points. And I could hear myself. Could someone mute?
I can hear you now.
Okay,
It was double for a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what I kind of like about Renko is it makes it a little easier for swing trades, and then I primarily like to do swing trades. And anyway, what I'm looking at here, it's so we're kind of in this downtrend right now, and chances are things get ugly going into 2029. Will probably continue going down. But what I'm expecting is to play this small bounce that we're probably going to get soon.
Yeah, on the other chart that you had, I'm going to pull it up for a second. Yeah, I would expect that us to come up here and form a lower high.
Yeah, and it does. It does seem like a lot of times we'll get pretty close, like the 8 weekly 8 EMA, or at least touch it.
Right.
Strong downtrends. And that's like what I'm watching for potential bounce, maybe up to 180.
Yeah. Sounds good. Nice chart. I never saw the Renkos before.
Thanks.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think they're pretty interesting. It seems like it's a lot better for like following momentum trades, or like you want to let runners run. I think Renko seems to help a lot more because it tunes out a lot of noise.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. It's pretty cool. I've never done it, so yep. I'll have to do some research on it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, then I think we have Moon Couch. You on?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. See, where did you put your chart? So they just in the thread? Moon Couch?
Yeah, they're in that blue policy thread.
Are they in the guest host thread?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to see.
I think they're up a little bit more.
Oh, here. CLX?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've been hanging out in consumer staples and utilities. CLX has a hourly EQ, and the top of the EQ is very close to all-time high. It's about a little over 1% off. So we do have an incomplete RSI wedge, so 2 touches, and decreasing volume. So I'm watching for, depending on how SPY behaves next week, if we're still in chop, or bearish action continues. CLX has been a good bullish trade, and key break would be 166.37, which is a double top, and a double top near the all-time high, which is again about a little over 1% off. It's 20 cents. So my question is, if you would consider that a double top. It's not exactly a double top. It's 20 cents off. But
on the 167.70.
Yes.
167.54.
Yes.
Probably not. Probably not on this stock. Usually, like if that's on a Amazon stock of 20 cents, yeah, I would. But on this, no, I probably wouldn't. Would you, Julian? Julian, are you still here?
Sorry, my mic's a little off.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't consider that a double top 167.54, 167.70?
So what are the levels again? 167.54. I don't know. It's tricky for me. I usually consider double tops like anything less than 0.5%.
Okay.
So I would kind of consider it, especially because it's a wick, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, the range though with this whole equilibrium is like very, very tight. So you'd have to be playing options, I think, or have a big common position really do well on this.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea of whether you consider those a double tops is very subjective. Everybody has their own what they consider and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Coach. Then you had Verizon, I think.
Can ask that question in the community actually, what people's view of a double top is.
So For Verizon, we have a daily descending wedge with the daily inside bar, and depending on how we open on Monday, I'm considering playing this bullish. It's right at the bottom of the trend, so I thought it'd be a good bottom fishing play. And then alternatively, there's a pretty good bottom fishing play at 55.19, which is the retest of the channel that we were watching, and the top of the channel is 55.88. So I don't foresee Verizon falling straight through that level, but it's a possibility. But I thought that might be a good play.
The RSI div is also turning up, which is bullish.
Yes, this one has a RSI, bullish divergence. Price is lower, but RSI didn't seem to get much lower,
right?
At all.
Yeah.
I actually picked up a call for Verizon last week to swing for a couple months. It's kind of interesting. Like, it felt like in October all the utilities held up, and then now on this other like retest of the lows, they just kind of like gave up. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like this chart.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, on Couch.
Awesome.
Then you did Macy's?
Yes. So a little splash of retail, hoping for that Santa rally that may not be getting, but daily descending wedge again. And this one doesn't, looking back, I think I prefer the Verizon wedge because of the RSI bullish divergence. This one doesn't seem to have a clear RSI bullish divergence. The RSI dipped just a little bit lower than I would have liked, but it is at a strong support level at 31.56. There is a gap to fill on the daily at 30.20, which may or may not be sufficient to be a gap fill. And again, depending on how we open, I might play this bullish short term, sell into the trend, the resistance trend line. Seems like it's at a good support.
Moon Couch, when you draw your trend lines, though, you have to decide whether you're going to draw it on the body or the wick. You can't do both.
This was the body.
Oh, okay. Looks like you got wicks down the bottom.
Just remember, the red candles is
I'm going to draw it out on the daily. Or Macy's. What is it, M? I put Macy's. All right, let's see. I think you started from this one.
Yeah, I did.
See, I don't get a trend line because unless you start maybe that one, and I don't think that one's going to work either. No, I only get 2 touches.
You got it. So I'll make sure to keep that in mind.
Yeah, and the bottom one too. It's definitely, it's a pattern that could be forming, and something to watch for sure. But you do have to be careful with bodies and wicks. You can, if you're going to use wicks, you have to stick with wicks. If you're going to use bodies, you have to stick with bodies.
Okay. Thank you for that critique.
Jules,
sure.
if you do bodies and it's a red candle, can you still do the top of the body, or since it closed at the bottom of the body, do you do that?
That's something maybe we can ask Jason, because Lori's been working a lot with that too. I always stick to bodies. Dan had taught me that. So even like a red candlestick, you're saying if it has a wick. Go ahead and say that again for me.
So if you're drawing bodies and it's a red candle,
yeah,
it would be closing at the bottom, right, of that. I can't remember who it was. Was it Madam Buttons or maybe Jilly that was talking about that they do their trend lines based on where the candle closes. So if it's green, you could do the top of the body, and if it's red, you do the bottom.
Yeah, because the red closes at the bottom, so when you do a support, you do according to the red, and then you don't mind if the green would still penetrate the support line. And when you do the resistance, you do it based on the close on the green because it's closed at the top, where you basically care about the close. That's what Dan said that he usually does. But because like if you do it based on the line, it's always the close of the price. So at the bottom, the red close. At the top, the resistance, the green close. So you might have some red popping up over the.
Oh yes, through the trend line.
Yeah.
When you're drawing the green ones. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yes. Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah. I don't mind having, like if I'm drawing a green trend line, a red popping through, because if I'm looking for support or resistance. Yes, I get what you're saying.
Either way, it's preference, and everybody will learn their own style. So.
Yeah, and really, if you stick to the same way every time you're trading, if you start doing different ways, then you're going to confuse price action and the way you feel about a trade. It's sticking to what you start with. So
Moon Couch, I would watch this. It's a bad line, but I would watch that downtrend line before you enter bullish. It's bad drawing there, but on your RSI, that'll help you decide when to get in.
I see. Thank you.
Okay. Did you have another chart, Moon Couch?
I did not. That was it.
Nope. Okay. All right. So is that everybody? All right. Then there's I believe there's some charts. Yeah, Stefano, this one was a good one. Actually, Stefano, are you in here? Nope. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, do you want to talk about your chart?
Well.
If you don't, it's okay.
No. It's okay.
If we left time after that, can we analyze the Bitcoin?
I'm sorry?
If we still left time after Stefano, can we analyze the Bitcoin?
Sure.
I think there's a lot of charts to go through, though, Jay.
Stefano, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, one house wedge is I mean, the wedge is like breaking bearish. Maybe I could enter after the break, but really don't know.
I think we're losing you a little bit. I'm going to pull up. I drew the wedge also. Pretty much same. I think I've gotten the same with you. It's a 4-hour. And I kind of feel if we break, I put mine, the bottom of this candlestick, if we break 364.33, it would confirm that we're broken through the wedge. And I'd look for follow through. It does look like on the RSI divergence that we're in a sell. So the only thing is this RSI pointing up a little bit. So, Tesla is a tough stock to trade. It is so volatile and it's very subjective to news. So, Tesla is one of those, I don't swing Tesla. Because it just can go crazy day in and day out. You have to really be watching it, in my opinion. And I've owned the stock since $16, but I still, when I'm playing options with it, I'm just really watching it. So I would watch for a break of that and then enter a bearish trade and watch for the next support would be somewhere around 356.02 area. It looks like that's a double bottom. You guys agree?
Thanks, Jules.
Okay.
No, I was wondering because I think the resistance, I think it is maybe 4% above. So I don't know about the risk-reward ratio is.
Right. Yeah. Yes. True. Yeah, I still think it's a decent risk reward. Actually, the downside to me is it's a better reward than the upside right now, because the next resistance on Tesla is 379.49, and I think we're going to have a hard time breaking that. That 380 area is going to be really tough for Tesla.
One thing I think I've noticed about Tesla lately though, is it seems to hold up better than the general market.
Yeah, for sure.
That's maybe one thing to consider seriously on the fundamental side. They just blockbuster earnings because the Model 3 chances are their next earnings probably also going to be good.
Yep.
So that might influence like what's going to happen.
Yep, that's very true. Very true.
The thing with Tesla too is like I again stick with like moving averages for a lot of stuff. The moving averages are still really strong in it, despite a little like RSI divergence coming up. But I wouldn't consider shorting it unless 353 broke for sure.
Yep. Okay. Let's see, what other charts do we have? Lori did an XLU chart. What looks it? Look at a rising wedge. Okay. I think Lori charted this, so I'm going to go back to Lori's chart on that. CGC daily, Lynch put in. So let me pull this up on a chart. Some of these were posted late, so I didn't have a chance to chart. I didn't see this morning. All right, so he was looking at kind of a wedge. Boy, this stock has been beaten up.
I don't see a top trend line myself. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't either. So let's see about.
I see more of a channel at the bottom, like from where that big gap is around 32. It looks more channel-y to me.
Yes, I see that. Let's see if we've got. There's a high. There's our low. Well, I guess we kind of have an equilibrium for him, man. Because we have a higher high here, then a higher low on the daily. You guys see that?
Yeah, that's what I saw. If it can hold 29.71.
The 4 hour would probably show a really nice EQ.
What'd you say?
Hour would probably show a really nice EQ also. Since on the daily they all fit together, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
With the high 35, 28, 33, and then that new low.
Yep.
Kind of wonky a little, though.
Yeah. This has been tough lately. Everybody, this stock is one that you have to decide. I think Jason said something about he wasn't trading it right now, but he definitely was wanting to buy it for a long term. So I think a lot of people are in it for long term. For me, I would have to, on the daily, I would be watching to make sure that we held this 29.71 area before I thought about entering. And it would have to be for, a quick flip, because I'm not really liking the way this RSI divergence is. And the MACD is just flat. So I would have to wait and see how things played out on Monday. All right, what other charts?
Did we do XLU?
Yeah, I'm going to do Lori's. Lori charted it, so I'm going to do that one instead, because she did it already. for a top fish in play. She played this, I believe, last week, still in play. The monthly has a double top, 57.23, 57.18. And if SPY were to have an oversold bounce, utilities are typically inverse to SPY as a safety hedge for a possible bear play on XLU. So I'll be watching this one. Yeah, this definitely looks like a bear flag. This is the 4 hour. So I keep this one on watch. The only thing I don't like is this hidden buy here, but okay. Dinzy did MU. I think they have earnings coming up December this week. Actually, I'm pretty positive they have earnings this week. But it looks like she's showing that they have a double bottom at 34.10 and 34.20. So possibly looking for a double bottom play.
That looks just like the SPY chart.
Yeah?
Pretty similar.
They are really beat up for sure. So that wouldn't be a bad play. I like the company. I don't know what's happened to them lately. Okay, Fiona. Fiona wanted me, I think I charted this for her. GS. Yeah, I looked at GS. GS is in a channel with 172.37 the low, and the next resistance is 180. RSI is negative, and so the RSI divergence. And the RSI still has bull volume, but decreasing. Could look to scout an oversold bounce with the RSI at 30. The RSI is at 30 on this 4 hour chart. So I might look for an oversold bounce on this. I went back, I want to say 3 years, and I couldn't find another, support would be like back, it was way down in the 160. So it's getting pretty beat up, big time. I'm not even sure why the banks are, whether it's because they're not raising interest rates. I'm not really sure, but either way, this wouldn't be a bad oversold bounce to play. That was, Fiona wanted that one, and then FedEx. This one is so tight on the hourly. A bottom fish at 183.10, and look for a break out of this triangle. I would look to enter bullish on a break of the trend line of around 185.20 bullish, and see if we can break 188.75. Just a bottom fish in play until we can get some traction behind it. Increased bull volume last candle of the day. So
I love how you charted this. It looks really nice.
Yeah, this triangle is like, wow. So
yeah, and at the bottom, ooh, girl.
I know. Yeah, I'll be watching this one.
Yeah.
Hourly, so I'll definitely be watching and put this one on my list. Write this one down, Sarah. That's your job. That's what I used to do. All right. I didn't chart X for her. I'll have to go back and do that one. She had URI up instead, so she must have went back and changed it, and I didn't see it. Okay. This is really weird now. We're going to see somebody put Amazon, as a head and shoulders on the weekly, and Kelly has a clear inverse head and shoulders on the daily. So I like this chart. Nice job. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. You can see that the support is at the head is 1420. And then 1784 up here at the neckline. And then, of course, we're way up here at 2033. So we'll have to wait and see.
So when I look at this one, I see SPY again, except a more bullish version of SPY, because the right shoulder is a lot higher than SPY. But you know how SPY's got the 3 peaks up at the top?
Yes.
Yep. On the daily, I guess it is. So this looks like it's kind of mirroring it, but it's not as bearish, it seems.
Right.
That's why I also pointed out the increasing bear volume on the last daily candle, because if this is to follow SPY, then this increasing bear volume right there might be a tell.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
It's nice to hear your voice.
Likewise.
Aw.
I get to feed you and give you pets soon.
Oh, God.
Yay! Yay!
This one, ABBV, this is the 4-hour equilibrium. The high is 95.92. Then we have the higher low at 90.17. And then we have 85.08 and then 84.60. I guess he's looking to, I'm not sure whether, I guess we're going to watch just to see, this is the 4-hour, to see where it breaks out from here, whether it's going to break down from 84.60 or whether it's going to try to come up a little bit and form another higher low. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out.
Looks like it's making a bear flag.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. Thank you. Yep.
It's got decreasing full volume also.
Yep.
And a head and shoulders.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, you
was that farm? Was that you?
Yes.
Yep, that 84.60 is the neckline.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw that. Was that you, Farm?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Thank you. I told you I was going to need help today.
You're
all right.
Doing great.
ACB, I think I charted this one. Yeah, I did. Okay. So we have resistance at 1065. This is the daily. Support 621. And then another resistance, 828. I don't like this. The RSI div with this big red dot going down. Not crazy about that, but we do have the MACD turning up. I believe it. Yeah, it did. It had a good bullish day on Friday. So let's look at the hourly.
So Jules, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Conflicting signals like that, like you had your RSI bearish divergence, but you had the MACD turning up. Do you put more weight into one or the other, or do you?
I don't. I just don't play it. I just won't play it. I'll just wait until they kind of match up together and move on to a different stock that has a clearer setup. It's just not worth.
What an awesome answer.
Huh?
I said, what an awesome answer. I love it.
It's just not a setup for me that I like. So why play it? Why force a trade? I look for the EQ setups that, look a lot better, that things are lining up better. And it's just, for me, it's just a risky trade. It's not worth it.
That's why you're the OG.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm nowhere near as good as Lori is at teaching. All right, let's go. Flags. What's this one? We did this one. Okay, we did hers. Stefano, did he do this one? Let's see. Oh, USO. Okay. Looks like, is this a daily?
It looks like oil for sure.
Yeah. I looked at it was really weird because last week the weekly was a bear flag, and then the next day we had that huge run up. Does look like a potential for a bear flag on the daily, but all of this bear volume here too. But then we got a lot of bull volume, so it's definitely mixed signals. Looks like he's got support all the way down to 865. I'd be looking up here at resistance at 1148, and this support here at 1051. Oil's been fun. I play the futures though. Oh, Kelly killed it this week. Farm, you want to talk about your chart?
Yeah. So Etsy, as we know, has been kind of a roller coaster, but had really good earnings, and it does it did kind of try to negate my daily bull flag here, but it's still, so maybe, yeah, pennant, I guess, is, yeah, because I even draw mine as triangles, which is a pennant, so I do have that terminology mixed up a lot, but I think the psychology is still there, and so it's forming this EQ up here, which for some reason I didn't mark, 5830 and 51, what is that, 5208 is the low down here, and then went back up and hit 58, and now it's coming back down here. I just think that this is a very bullish chart and bullish company because this is all-time highs, and with SPY, having a terrible November and December range, yeah, I still think that there's some room to run on this. I know last week we looked at it, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, we looked at it bearish because there's a lot of room down here, and it ran up like a roller coaster right there. So it could go either way, but I'll definitely be watching this area to see if this holds, and then that gives a lot of room to go up there. So.
Okay.
The weekly chart looks great on that one too, by the way. Maybe Jules, you could pull up the weekly.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks way more like a bull flag.
Yeah, I mean, SPY is it ETSY?
ETSY.
That's why the thing about SPY is killing so many of these charts.
Yeah, that's the weekly.
Yeah, the weekly definitely does.
That was sort of a cup and handle.
Yeah, look at that. It almost looked like a cup and handle. Came down and then it broke up bullish.
Yeah, that's awesome. And personally, I would have thought that handle came down too low. But if you look at the decreasing bear volume, I guess that would have been your good sign. Like, hey, this is healthy.
Yeah. Yep.
Increasing bull volume on this last weekly candle. Looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That looks promising.
Yep, it is. All right, that was Itsy. Was that in the bottom top? Okay. Oh, now we got Dan's charts. All right, Cron. I guess Dan's looking for support at 1108. Looks like we have double bottom there. Well, triple. Looks like so. I guess he's looking to enter. I think where did we close? Like 11:28 on Friday. So Lori and I.
Yeah. What?
Of course, we didn't hold them. We're so mad at ourselves. We bought them like up here somewhere. But
this looks like a descending triangle to me. So, I think puts would still work if you broke that 1106.
Yep, 1106 breaks. Yeah, definitely. I don't know where the next support is. I have to chart it. Let's see.
I think it's at 10 something. Wasn't that huge gap up on Cron? I think it was in the 1030s.
Yeah, I mean it's filled most of that, I think.
I'm just going off memory here. I don't remember. On the daily, there was a huge gap.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, Dan said he has been playing this one.
Okay, there's a gap at 994.
990.
Oh, wait a minute. No, 886, I guess.
Or is it 1010? Do you go from the bottom or the top?
Yeah, 1010.
Okay.
So so we still do have potential to, if we're going to fill the gap, decent downsize if it breaks that double bottom.
Yeah,
and
I think
the MACD on the daily is actually looking like it's turning down.
We've had discussions about this a lot, so I don't want it to be too long. But just a really quick question: How do you do it, Jules? When you have a gap on the daily, do you look for the most recent support before that gap, or does resistance become support?
On the when I'm looking to go a bearish trade?
No, for a gap fill. Yeah, like a bearish trade from up here down, where would your target be if you bought your puts up here?
Well, that's a tough one. I would normally, if it's going to break that double bottom, then for me, I'm going to watch it to fill the gap, because it takes a lot for it to, actually it was a triple, 1160, 1106. It takes a lot for a stock to break a triple bottom. So in my mind with psychology, that it's going for the gap fill then. So I'm going to get into puts that are going to cover all the way down to 10.010. I'm probably not going to be watching any other support. What's this one? That's 931. It's 10.03. 10.03 would probably be, because I don't see that it's going to stop until it fills the gap. And so I would just be watching from 11.28 where it is now to 10.03.
And filling the gap in your mind is here, the top of this?
Where are you? The farm, it's right here at 10, right there. You see my arrow?
At the bottom of that green candle?
No, the top.
The top.
The top. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. Sure. All right. And this one, 10, he did. Okay, so it looks like we have multiple tops at 599. And then we have a support at 1006 and 470. So I'm not liking it. Does have decreasing bear volume. So, and this is Dragonfly, I believe.
So on this one, I see an ascending triangle with a flat resistance and an inclining trend line. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if I could draw across there, yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. From here to here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, I see that. Yep. So this has a potential for a trade too. Dan's charts are always pretty cool. Not that we want to give him any credit. Okay. Chili. He posts such awesome charts, but it's all on this VIX. I can't possibly keep up with all of his trend lines and stuff like that, because it's just not the way I do things. It looks like he's got us with possible multiple tops at 53, 58, and then another 51.20, and then way down here, 53, 35, 90, and 34.12. I'm not sure whether he's wanting to enter this bearish or bullish or just showing us where we're at. I don't really see any pattern playing out unless somebody else does.
On the daily, it might be a head and shoulders.
Oh, well.
Or the 4 hour.
Yeah.
So I see a left peak, the head, and then it's trying to sort of kind of make a right shoulder.
TVIX?
Possibly.
I mean, that chart just shows you how ridiculous this market's been over the last 2 months.
Yeah, no kidding. What is it? TVI?
X.
Okay.
TVIX. 1T.
There you go. The heck's that? Oh, that's
there we go.
Okay. There's a 4 hour.
Time decay.
Yeah. No kidding.
Oh, that's just weird looking. Oh.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even I can't really even get a trend line. I mean, if I cut out those and just go to the green bottoms. Yeah. Even if I can't get it from the top. So I don't really see any patterns playing out here. Unless somebody else sees something that I don't, but that's on the 4 hour. Unless we see something on the hourly.
think someone else was asking about it, and he was just trying to put together some patterns, but and there's been a lot of touches. But.
Yeah. He's awesome at, like, going through his whole charts and stuff like that. So I don't want to keep up all you guys' time, so you guys can go back and read all the stuff that he says. All right, Dan, QQQ. What did Dan say about it? This is where we combine EQ recognition and bottom top fishing. Bulls need to hold 159.41 on Monday for our higher low to remain in EQ. Okay, so 140, what did he say, 149? Oh, 159. 159.41. Okay, so we need to hold that to remain in EQ. So hopefully we can hold that up. But this chart looks wonky as heck. You got this one way down here. So, I mean, I don't see any kind of clear pattern here. Because this candle's all out of whack.
Yeah, that was the gap. That was Friday's gap down, wasn't it? And then the bears just pushed it further down.
Yep.
So in this instance, tech was not, say, gap downs are for buying, not Friday. It wasn't.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. All right. GDX on a daily. Looks like we're close to double tops up here, 20.55 and 20.58. If we could get past that. And then there's a support at 19.92. I guess we must have closed at 2013. So gold has had some upside, but miners they had a few days. We do have a lot of bear volume here. So MACD is up pretty high. Anybody been playing gold? We did these. Okay, TSCO, I don't know anything about this chart. Potential break of support of 87.27 yields opportunity down to next support of 83.72. Beware of dividend, which may be supportive. Yeah, that's true. When the dividends, if SPY is going down, some of the dividend stocks tend to go up. But like he said, if we break 87.27, that would be a nice play down to 83.71. Oh, this is a decent chart to keep on watch. That almost looked like a head and shoulders, but this shoulder's way too big.
I think there's also quite a bit of resistance historically back at the kind of the high level there. Was it 97? Yeah. So I think if you look at the weekly and go back, there's quite a bit more support or resistance there. So I'm leaning towards the downside on this EQ. And,
okay.
If you kind of break through that 87, 70, you might get down to 83.
Okay.
But you never know if the market goes up. I mean, we're looking at the top of the EQ then. That was just my thoughts on it.
And it must have had a bullish reaction to that last earnings. That's huge bull volume.
Yeah.
And then just giving it all back.
The market's giving it all back. Here we go, Farm. You're up.
All right, so this is United Healthcare, which very similar to that last chart, had great earnings and then gave it all back, which you can't see on there. I've had it charted for a while that it's been following this trend line. I didn't show you all of that, but right now it's in an EQ on the hourly. Not beautiful, but 276.94 is the top, 260.23 is support, and then it went back up, kind of bounced around a little bit, went 274. Now it's getting near the bottom, which is also on my daily trend line, and it's trying to hold its RSI trend line as well. There's also news about this one, so caution. The Obamacare being repealed or delawed or whatever and so that could send this down as well. But overall, I'm personally bullish on United Healthcare, and if it can stay in this equilibrium and tighten, it could be a really good play. 287.94 is all-time high on the left side there too.
Okay, nice chart. Okay, where were we? Was that EQs? Now earnings. This was just a chart I posted on SPY. I don't think we need to go through that one. Here he's looking for a gap fill on this one, which is that gap fill zone is in between, I guess it's at 1207. And right now the stock is at 1404. This stock has really gotten killed. I mean, it was a really nice stock up at 24. It's a pharmaceutical stock. And I used to play it quite a bit, but this was one-time earnings. See all that volume, and now nothing. It's just been a dead stock. So the only thing that concerns me is this RSI is so low. So we may get a bounce in here just to form a higher low and then come back down to fill that gap. So I'd watch out for the RSI being so low. Who's Stefano? I'm not sure if he's still on the call, but before I played a real bearish position. Farm.
When you were posting about Goldman Sachs, I was going to bring this up, but FAS is the 3 times bullish financial ETF, and I was looking back. The red in the middle there is my fib retracement from the first dump in September, or in October, and it retraced back up to the 0.5 right here, and now we have another dump, which fundamentally, like we've talked about, I still don't understand, and unless there's something going on that people know about. I mean, these banks are still having good earnings, the interest rates flattening, yes, but I don't know. So either way, I'm going to be looking at this. It has a lot of increasing bear volume here. But
it has a dividend too, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what this is talking about. How do you have earnings on an ETF? Like, what is this, like the average of all bank earnings?
I know. Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
I'd like to research that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is a weekly. Keep that in mind. But I personally will be looking at this for a good daily or weekly bounce. The daily is oversold. Almost. The daily is at 31 right now. But
yeah, that's getting there. So yeah.
Either way, I like to I want to keep my eyes on the financials. It seemed like Friday they were starting to poke their head up for a bounce. But
the BAC had a decent day.
Yeah, it did. So either way, I would be looking for this area 57.19, and then this is about, I think, a 16% bounce, and this one over here was an 18 or 20% bounce. So there's some good potential there. I would keep your eye on this one.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, I think that's everything. Yep, looks like that's all the charts we had.
I saw one from Lunch Money that was NVDA.
Okay.
He said daily multiple bottom touches. It's under multi-top bottom at the very bottom.
Multi-top bottom. Where am I missing? Oh, did I miss that section? No, I did, Kron. Oh, I must have missed his. Oh, okay.
We did it, but he posted it kind of late.
Okay. I'm getting a text from Lori. She said some of her tests were delayed, but she's feeling pretty good.
Yay, Lori.
Hold on a second. Let me go back and read it. Just left chemical stress test, waiting for echo. Everything was delayed, but feeling good. Okay, that's good. All right.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right. So this one, NVDA, he's showing it's really in a in a channel, I would call it. MACD's turning up though. I really do kind of like NVDA bullish, but we'll have to see how it plays out on Monday. It does have quite a few bottoms, like he's showing. Right in that, I think the area is like 148.48. So yeah, I'll be watching NVDA this week. If SPY shows up at all, I think NVDA has been beaten up enough.
There are just so many stocks that as soon as like some piece of good news comes out regarding China, these things are just gonna rip because they just have no resistance.
I agree. Yeah. Totally.
Just gotta be patient.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and Apple's definitely one of them.
Oh yeah, I already have Apple calls.
When we were talking about that earlier, I mean, it's just baffling to me how bearish Apple has been, and the biggest bearish thing that I saw in their last earnings call was not saying how many iPhones they're going to have, which is a red flag, but does that really mean that they're not going to be selling any iPhones anymore? Like, is this company just gone and Warren Buffett just gave up, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, Warren Buffett, he loaded up recently at like what 200 or something for Apple.
Yeah,
stock. So I don't think he's worried about it long term. But it just depends. Like if you're playing options or common, like it just depends what you're playing to maximize whenever that move does take place. I'm picking up common at this price for sure.
Okay, so the only thing was Jay wanted to go over BTC.
Yes.
I don't trade it at all, so let's have you. Should I do the one in Coinbase? Is that a better one to do?
Yeah.
Okay, and how about you, Jillian? You talk about it. That's so funny. My name is Julianne. Okay. My name is Julianne too.
Oh, cool.
Exact same spelling.
What? Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough because I've been charting Coinbase as like Coinbase's BTC is like a falling wedge.
This is the hourly. Do you want the hourly up, or do you want me to bring up another one?
I like the daily on it. The daily's pretty clear.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's having a hard time getting anywhere. I think the obvious thing is like everybody and their mother thinks 3K support is going to hold, or that'll be like the final leg down, which is why we're getting a very slow crawl into that support. And that's why we're getting a bit of this descending wedge, is because people don't really want to start shorting into that 3K break. Because again, like I don't think and this is personally, like I stopped shorting this after it got down to about 3,800, but I just don't think there's much more upside for shorts at this point. I think it's just overdone.
Yeah.
But I mean, the number one thing with this chart is like the highest volume we saw was on the 20th of November. We need to see that again, either down or either up. But this trend is not going to end with the 20th of November being the highest volume day on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
for sure. So we have to see another big high volume day. And that's what tell us.
It's only 20. It's 28 on the daily.
Yeah, well, it's I don't know. It's so tough with Bitcoin because everyone always looks back at the 2014 dump and compares it. So we're also hitting weekly RSI oversold for the first time on Bitcoin in years. That marked the bottom of the 2014 drop. But the way I see it, the best case scenario is we'll probably bottom out. If this descending wedge breaks bullish, that could give a potential of 3K being the bottom for probably a couple weeks. Like I would say we need a bull break over 3,600 for that descending wedge to really like confirm. I don't like a sideways break of descending wedges. So I want to see a daily bull break over that 3642.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not in the, I guess I can't really just predict where the next few months are going to be. I'm just seeing sentiment really just bottom out on this stuff. Like I don't see everyone's saying, oh, we're going to go to like 1.2K. I don't really look at like historical daily supports on Bitcoin all that much, and especially Ethereum, because we just like smash right through them. Especially altcoins. You really can't look at daily supports on altcoins, because if Bitcoin wants to go down, they're going to just break their supports and not even like test them for a quick bounce. So
I did the fibs on this quick on this last dump. It looks like a 0.5 retracement would be 47 100 range.
Okay.
Just FYI, but what is the predicted move on a descending wedge again?
Base.
Again, it's all gonna be it's. I find a lot of the time with crypto stuff, they do try and link it to some sort of event. Like they linked the dump here to the Bitcoin Cash hard fork. Obviously there was a technical play there, like we broke below 6,000, and that was like a very clear short. But there's always something that also correlates with like a big bull move. And when people say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna retrace up to like 4K or 4.5 or something," I have to say like, well, there has to be something behind that as well. Fundamentally, I can't just see a technical move just like playing up there without something kind of bullish moving in that direction.
Yeah.
It's very fundamentally driven market for sure.
Definitely. The RSI dividend is pointing up a little bit, so.
Yeah, there's definitely, yeah.
Like you said, 3,000, I would think, has to be its real bottom.
Well, the thing that's, I don't know, it's so tricky. I mean, you can only speculate with Bitcoin because it has really, it's just like a commodity, right? So, I think it's like we're so close to breaking 3K. Like, it's not unheard of to drop 6% in Bitcoin. That's how close we are to breaking 3K support.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet, which is weird, and the volume just keeps dropping off every single day. So, yeah, you can only speculate. Personally, I am loading up on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin long-term positions here, just because I think like a year out, I think we're going to be fine at these current prices. But that's just my prediction. What's going to happen is like we're gonna find a bottom, and then we're gonna go sideways for like a while. It's not going to be like a recovery up to 6K. It's going to be like this 2.5 to like 5K range for months is what I think. So
we do have back to futures coming up. I think January 4th. Probably a lot of people are looking to see if that has any effect on price.
Well, I think the catalyst there is going to be if they actually get a lot of interest in them, that's going to be a very bullish catalyst, right? Because that'll be a way they'll be reporting obviously the interest, and you'll be able to see the volume, I believe, on that stuff. The CME futures. Why don't we take a look at those? Maybe you can pull those up.
What is it?
CME futures for Bitcoin. I'm trying to figure out what the chart is. If anyone knows what the
CME.
Just look at BTC futures.
Yeah, there's definitely like you said, 3,000. I would think has to be its real bottom. Oh, somebody's got their.
Okay. Yeah, look up like BTC.
Type in BTC1 exclamation point.
I think it's like we're
everybody mute themselves.
All good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the volume's definitely been rising in it. On like the daily and seeing the weekly. So it looks like there is a good interest in the futures, and pretty much only institutions play those, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I don't think many. I think retail investors just buy on the Bitcoin exchanges. Does anyone here play the Bitcoin futures at all, or
no?
No. Okay.
I don't. Oh.
Yeah.
It looks like it's turning up, and then look at the RSI is at 20. My goodness.
Yeah, well, that's because the futures started at like 20K.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, hopefully we get a bounce, but we better end the call because I don't want to be keeping you guys all day.
Cowboys game starting.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Jules.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Jules.
Thank you.
Bye.